Hey guys, Johnny May here, and welcome to lesson number 3 of the 10-day Piano with Johnny Beginner Blues Challenge. And guys, in today's lesson, you're going to learn the most important scale that you need to know if you want to improvise over the blues. It's called the C blues scale, and I'm going to teach you the notes, I'm going to teach you the fingering, and then we're going to talk about strategies for practicing this scale. How do you play it smoothly? How do you play it quickly? We're going to explore the scale in one octave, in multiple octaves. We're going to explore different types of notes like eighth notes and triplets, and most importantly, we're going to have a ton of fun. Now, this comes with a free backing track. Be sure to download that track because we're going to be using it during the lesson, and let's go ahead and get started. Alright guys, so if you want to solo over the blues, the very first thing that you need to learn is the scale that you use to solo. And luckily for you, there is one scale that you can use to solo over the blues, and that is the C blues scale. Okay? It's a very simple scale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 notes, but you can do a ton with it. Let me show you what you're going to end up sounding like by the end of our 14-day blues challenge. So everything that I was just playing comes from these 6 notes of the C blues scale, okay? So let's go ahead and learn what the C blues scale. What is the C blues scale? Well, it's these 6 notes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, okay? Go ahead and play along with me. We're going to start here on middle C. That's the red dot here, okay? Thumb is on middle C. And now we're going to move middle finger to the E flat. That's going to be the 3rd finger. Now here is something very important, which is to cross under the thumb to the very next note of the scale, okay? And that's going to be the F, okay? Now, if you're not used to this, let's say you're a brand new piano player, you've never played the piano, crossing under to notes is one of the most fundamental things that we do as pianists, and it allows us to maneuver up and down the piano, okay? And when we're playing up the piano, we use the thumb underneath the other fingers to get us to a new position, okay? So this is something you might want to just sit and practice, is just practice coming up C, E flat, and then landing on F. That's it, just like that. Okay. Now, once you get to the F, you can continue your scale, okay? So the next note of the scale is an F sharp. Now you're going to cross the thumb under to the G, like that. Middle finger on B flat, and then we're going to end the scale with the 4-finger on C. Okay? Guys, that is the C blues scale. Okay? The most important scale if you want to play the blues. And we're going to be using this scale in a lot of different contexts to build our improvisations. Okay? Let's do it one more time, starting on C, E flat, crossing under to the thumb on F, 3-finger on F sharp or G flat, thumb on G, middle finger on B flat, and the ring finger on C. Okay? Now, let's go ahead and play this scale coming down. We're going to go C, B flat with the 3rd finger, G with the thumb. Now we're going to go middle finger to G flat, thumb on F, middle finger on E flat, and thumb on C. Okay? Let's do it once more, coming down. Starting on the ring finger, B flat, G, G flat, that's the 3rd finger, thumb on F, 3rd finger on E flat, and C. Okay? So when we're coming down the piano, how do we maneuver down to a new position? You typically use the 3rd finger. You might use the 4th finger, but in jazz and blues, we typically use the 3rd finger, okay? And this transitions you to this new position, and then your thumb comes under that, okay? And so you might want to just practice this, coming down, 3rd finger crossing over, and just landing there, right? Landing there accurately. Thumb, 3rd, thumb. Okay? So what you just learned is the C blues scale. It's a 6-note scale. And we learned it up the piano like that, and then we learned it down the piano. Okay? And what I want you to do here is I just want you to practice this scale. You're really going to want to spend some time doing this. I would pause the video and just work the scale up, nice and slowly, working on accuracy, and then bringing it down, nice and slowly, working on accuracy. Okay? By the way, fingering and keeping a nice position as you're coming up the keyboard, you want your wrist to be nice and elevated, your fingers to be bent, and as you're coming up the piano, something that really helps is to sort of lean the wrist to the right, and that helps you maneuver your thumb to the F. Okay, so make sure you kind of turn that wrist up to the right, and then it lands. Okay, and same thing coming down, you can sort of lean the wrist down so you get into position. Okay, so you're going to want to practice this scale up and down and up, okay? And once you start feeling good at this tempo, you can start to speed it up. Okay, and what I'm focusing here is largely on the feeling of the scale, meaning I'm not really having to look at my fingers. I sort of know that that G flat is there as I come down, okay? And so you really want to be thinking about this as you're playing is what's the feeling of the scale, okay? You really want your fingers to sort of memorize the distance between these notes as you cross under and as you cross over, okay? So that's really, really key. Something that might help is to actually close your eyes like this and just feel the scale. Whoop, see I missed that note? Okay, so you can come up and really memorize that position, okay? That really, really will help you, okay? So that is the C blues scale. And guys, what we're going to do is we're going to use this scale to solo, okay? So it's very, very important to get very, very comfortable with this scale. So you can practice that in one octave. The next thing that I typically like to do with my students is practice it in multiple octaves, meaning we're going to start on this C, and instead of ending on this C, we're going to go up one more C. We're actually going to go way up here, okay? So what you're going to do now is play the scale as I taught it to you, thumb on F, right? And now here's the magic. How do you continue the scale up the piano? Well, if you cross your thumb under the B flat to the C, now you've reset your position and you can continue the scale as we started, right? Because we started on our thumb, right? So now that your thumb's on the C up here, you just continue the fingering up the piano, okay? Now, if you're looking at the lesson sheet, which is included up here on the top left, I have the fingering written out here for you. 1, 3, 1, 3, 1, 3, 1, 3, right? But you talked about this, right? 1, 3, crossing under 1, 3, 1, 3, 1, right? This is the fingering that we use on the blues scale. And then on the very final note, let's say we ended on the high C up here, you can end on the forefinger, okay? But if you wanted to continue another octave, then you would cross under your third finger with your thumb again, okay? And you could literally play the C scale in any octave, okay? So let's do it one more time. We're going to go up on the C scale 2 octaves, and then we're going to go down, okay? Let's go 2 octaves up slowly. Thumb on F, thumb on G, thumb on C, thumb on F, thumb on G, and we can end on the C. Okay, that's going to be 2 octaves. And again, really focus on this. Keep your wrist in a nice elevated position. You don't want your wrists to be down here and flat. You want it to be up above. You want the fingers to be bent. When I was a little kid learning the piano, my teacher used to say, kitty paws, kitty paws. And that always helped me. Yeah, when you play piano, you want to have these little kitty paws where the fingers are bent. This is a very good position at the piano. So make sure your hand isn't flat. You want to get the wrist up, and that allows you to cross under your fingers. See how I've got this nice round position. Okay, and you want to do this in both of your hands. Okay. All right, that's the C blues scale going up. You're going to practice this all the way up the piano. Try increasing your speed. And then to come down, it's the same fingering all the way down. You're going to go 3, 1, 3, 1, 3, 1, 3, 1, 3, 1, 3, 1. Okay? That's the C blues scale. Okay? So you're going to practice it up the piano. And down the piano. That's the way it works. Very, very simple. If you want to go 3 octaves, if you want to go up to that C, then great, practice it 3 octaves. And then when you get to the top, you can use finger 4 and then bring it down. Okay, and then you can go 4 octaves. You can go all the way up to that high C if you would like, okay? Now, when you're practicing this, I recommend swinging the notes, okay? 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3, 4. Because typically when you're playing 8th note lines, when you're developing a solo, you're going to mostly, when you're playing the scale, you're going to mostly use 8th notes. Okay, so when you're practicing this scale, I would practice these swung 8th notes. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Does that make sense? Okay. Ta, 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 long, short, long, short, long, short, long, short, long, short, long, short, long. Okay? Those are 8th notes. Okay? So once again, just a quick review here. We talked about the C blues scale 1 octave using 1, 3, 1, 3, 1, 3, 1. Do that up and down. Work on increasing your speed on that. And then try it 2 octaves. In terms of a goal here, in terms of a speed goal, I'd say a great goal is to get it about to the tempo that we're performing it. 1, ta, 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 and 4, and 1. And a little faster. That's a pretty good tempo right there. Okay. Then once you do the 2 octaves, try it at the same speed. Maybe start a little slower. 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and okay, and speed it up. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Okay. So once again, guys, in this lesson, we're introducing the C blues scale. We're not going to really start soloing in today's lesson. We'll start soloing and improvising in our next lesson, but it is so crucial if you want to be able to solo is to really understand the scale. In this case, we're using the C blues scale. It's a 6-note scale. And there's, again, a lot of crossing over and crossing under. So really make sure you're accurate on this. This is a struggle for a lot of students, is getting the accuracy on crossing under and crossing over. So you really want to focus on the feeling of the scale, and particularly the distance between these notes. Like this little transition right here, it's a very tight transition, okay? So what you might want to do is actually just pause on this little section and work on these 3 notes. Like that. Right? And really memorize that feeling. Okay, and try looking away. And try playing the scale all the way up. And then try it all the way down. And just feeling the notes. Okay? That will help you tremendously. All right, guys, we're going to go ahead and now practice the blues scale over the 12-bar blues form. And this is really the next step, is once you've learned the scale in 1 octave, you've learned it now in 2 octaves, let's go ahead and actually play it over the 12-bar blues form, okay? So we're going to do it very simply at first. We're going to only do it 1 octave, and the pattern is going to go like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and then we bring it down. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and then we bring it up. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and down. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And we're going to do this over the full 12-bar blues form, okay? So what you're going to have to do is try to remember the blues form, remember the order of the chords, and now play this pattern over those chords, okay? Let's think about measure 1. Measure 1 is a C chord, it's a C7 chord, so we're going to play the blues shuffle, and I'm actually going to use the simple, the easy blues shuffle, which is quarter notes. 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're going to play that blues scale over the easy blues shuffle. Let me show you how it goes. 1, 2, 3, 4. You You see how it works? Go ahead and play it along with me. Here it is. 1 and 2, that lines up, and 3 and 4. Now, the next chord is an F chord. We're going to come up here. Okay? Well, we're at the top of the scale. Let's go ahead and take the scale down. Okay? See how it works? Okay, I'll go slower. Check out how the hands line up. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. All right, very good. Let's go to measure 3. That's a C chord. Let's play the scale up. 1, 2, 3, 4. And what's measure 4? I think that's another 1 chord. See how we're doing this? So we're following the 12-bar blues form. We're playing the blues scale, the C blues scale in the right hand. And this is where it becomes very important for you to know the order of the chords. And as you recall, in the very first lesson, we talked about the first segment is a 1-4-1-1 progression. Okay? So all you do is you fill in the gaps. Okay, we got a 1 chord, a 4 chord, and a 1 chord. Now a 4 chord, or rather a 1 chord. Is that making sense? And so what I would do is practice this 4 measure segment again and again and again, and really solidify 2 and 3 and 4, the jump, and really try to smooth it out as much as possible. Okay? 4 and 1 and 2. Now, you're going to do this over the whole form. So, segment 2 is a 4-4-1-1 progression. Goes like this. And then another time on the 4 chord. And now back to the 1 chord. And then again, coming down. Is that making sense? Okay. What about the last segment? The last segment is a 5-4-1-5. Okay. Well, let's go ahead and play it up. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and now the 4 chord, and now the 1 chord, and the 5 chord. Pretty simple, okay? So you're going to put the whole thing together. Let's play through the form now at a medium slow tempo. We're going to walk you all the way through it. By the way, you can use the 8th note left hand. You can go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 if you'd like. I'm going to play the simple left hand for now, okay? Here we go. Through the whole blues form, I'll call out the chords. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. C to F to C. C again. Now the F. Back to C. And C again. Here's segment number 3, the 5 chord. 3, 4, down to F. And the C. And the G. Okay? Very good, okay? And you might be playing the more advanced left-hand shuffle. Ba, ta, 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 ta. That would be how this one comes together. If you're using the 8th note pattern, okay? Let's go ahead and now play a little bit faster. We're going to do the same thing that we just played. I will this time, I'll use quarter notes again because they're a little bit easier to play, but we're going to speed it up, okay? 12-bar blues form, here we go. 1, 2, here we go. F. Up to F. Again. great job. And the G. All right. Good. Let's go ahead and play it with the backing track. You're doing a great job. Pause the video, practice speeding it up, and here we go. 2. 1, 2, here we go. Good. Okay, you're doing a great job, guys. That is the single octave approach, right? We're using eighth notes. This is one of the simplest approaches. And again, what we're practicing now is taking the scale, which you've already learned, and playing it over the blues form. Before you can start soloing, you need to be able to play this blues scale at a very basic level over the blues form. And that's what we're focusing on doing. Before we move on to the next concept, something else you can do is you can reverse the order or do a mirror image, meaning when you practice this single octave approach, you can start by going down and then going up. Let me show you what I mean, okay? On the C chord, start by going down. And then on the F chord, go up. And then down. Up, okay? And I would do this over the full 12-bar blues form, work on speeding it up, and then play it with the track. I do want to move on now to multiple octaves, okay? Now, being a soloist, being able to improvise over the blues, you should be able to play in multiple octaves, meaning you can play down here when you're playing the blues, you can play up here, and you can play up here, okay? So that's really the goal here. And so the next step is to practice the blues scale in multiple octaves. And what we're going to do now, guys, is we're going to do a 2-measure phrase going up, okay? It's going to go like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. And we're going to end on the high C, okay? Once more. Play the right hand with me. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3, 4. Okay, so we went 2 octaves. Now we're going to come down. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3, 4. Okay, so practice this. Maybe at first just practice the right hand going up 2 octaves and then holding, and then you come down, right? And once you start feeling comfortable with this rhythm, then add the left hand, okay? I'm going to play both options for the left hand. We'll start with the easy one, and I did notate the medium left hand, which uses eighth notes, okay? But I'll start with the easy one, okay? Here we go. We're going to play over the 12-bar blues form, okay? We'll go measure by measure. Okay, the first 2 measures of the 12-bar blues form is a 1 to 4 chord. Great. Let's go ahead and play the eighth notes in the right hand. Here it is. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and now we've got the F chord. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. You see how that works? Very simple. One more time. Here we go. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and thumb on the F. And 2 and 3, 4, and now we're going to bring it down over a C chord. 2 measures. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3, 4. Make sense? Now, our next chord is a 4 chord for 2 measures, so let's do the scale up. 1, 2, 3, 4, and down. 4. Okay, now we're on the third segment. This is a 5 chord. The third segment is a 5, 4, 1, 5 progression. Great. So let's go to our 5 chord. Do the scale up. 5, 4, and 1. And now the 5, and 2, and 3, 4. okay? And so you can practice this segment all by itself, okay? So what we're going to do now is we're going to put all of the segments together, okay? And we're going to go pretty slow tempo, but I want to move you through it. We're not going to slow down. And go ahead and try playing along with me. Here it is. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and C. 2 F. 3, 4, back down to C. 3, up to F. And back down to C. 3, 4, and up on the G. And down to the C. And G. All right, great job. Give yourself a pat on the back. That is pretty hard to do, especially if you are a complete beginner, you've never played the piano before. The fact that you're playing a blues shuffle in your left hand and you're playing a C blues scale, multiple octaves up and down the piano is huge progress. And I just want to acknowledge your hard work to be able to do this. If you can't quite do it yet, that is totally fine. You can put in the time. You can always go back to this lesson, watch it again and again, and sit down and practice this. And just keep in mind posture, right? Good hand position. The elbows are relatively level with the keys. You don't want to be sitting too low. You don't want your elbows to be down here. You also don't want to be sitting too high where your elbows are way up here. You want them to be relatively level, and then make sure you have very good hand position. Okay, by the way, when you're playing these multiple octaves, you can use the 8th note. I think the 8th note is a little more driving, but it's a little harder to play. But if you were to practice the multiple octave approach with 8th notes, it'd go like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3. And you can practice the whole thing just like this. Okay. All right, let's go ahead and speed it up. Multiple octave approach. I'll do the quarter notes because they're a little bit easier to play in the left hand. Here we go. 1, 2, here it is. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and back down. And to the F chord. And back to the C. You're doing great. Here's the G. Down to the C. Good. And let's do it once with those 8th notes in the left hand. If you're playing the 8th notes, let's do it once together. Here it is. 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. And back down to C. You're doing great. Here's the G. And the C. All right. And once you're here, we're going to play with the backing track because this is really the end goal. If you can play at the backing track tempo, that's performance tempo. That means you could jam with the band, okay? Here we go, multiple octaves with the backing track, and here you go. You'll hear the count off and play along with me. 2, 1, 2, here we go. F. C. Here's the G. And 4. And the G. And great job. Okay guys, that is the 8th notes over multiple octaves. You can practice this on your own. And the very last portion of this lesson is we're going to be practicing a new rhythm which is actually a little bit harder. This is called triplets, okay? A triplet rhythm goes like this. Triplet, 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 okay? What are triplets? Well, when you take a triplet is when you divide one beat into 3 notes, okay? So a triplet would be like taking beat 1, which is 1, and going triplet, triplet. In fact, let's do this together. Go C, E flat, F, and we're just going to play triplets. Ready? Triplet, 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 triplet. Those are basic triplets, okay? And what we're going to do is play triplets up the scale. Triplet, triplet, And at the end, we're going to change the pattern back to an 8th note, okay? One more time, try the triplets up the piano with me, and then hit the C twice on the top. Here it is. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And does that make sense? Okay. And so what you can do is you can practice triplets over the form going up and down. Okay. If you went down, how would you play triplets? Same pattern. Triplet, triplet, bum, bum, and twice on the C. Okay. Let's do it over the blues form. We'll do the quarter note left hand, and I'll also show it to you with the 8th note left hand. Okay. Here it is over the form. Starting on the C chord. Triplet, triplet, 3 and 4, and now to the F. Triplet, triplet, 3 and 4, and now to C. Now to the F. Now the C. Now the G. And now the F. And now the C. And the G. Okay, so that's how you would play it with the quarter notes in the left hand. Now let's say you're playing the 8th notes in the left hand, which go 1 and 2 and 3. Well, how do these line up? You've got triplets in the right hand, where you have 3 notes per beat, and then you've got 8th notes in the left hand, which is 2 notes per beat. How do those line up? Well, they line up like this. Okay? This is a confusion for a lot of students. How do you play triplets against 8th notes? Well, when you're swinging the 8th notes, 1 and, the second 8th note, which is 1 and, the and lines up with the 3rd triplet. Okay? So in other words, if you go 1 triplet, the let, because you have 3, right? Triplet, that's 3. Triplet, the 3rd one lines up with the second, with the and in the left hand, okay? And you can practice triplets like this. Basically take triplet, triplet, like this, just these 3 notes, and practice triplet, 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 okay? That's how the hands come together. Triplet, triplet, okay? Once you get this basic rhythm, try playing the scale up the piano. I'll show you slowly. Triplet, triplet, you see? And then down. Triplet, triplet. And then up the piano. Triplet, triplet, triplet. Good. Now to the F chord. Back to the 1 chord, the C. Okay, the 5 chord. 4 chord. a 5 chord. Okay, so you see how we're really taking our time with all of these concepts. We're really focusing on each concept on its own, right? We talked about eighth notes in one octave, we talked about eighth notes in multiple octaves, and now we're talking about triplets. And if you want to be a good soloist, you want to be able to play eighth notes, and you want to be able to play triplets. And you really got to take the time to master each of these rhythms. And that's what we're doing in this lesson. We're not soloing at all. We're not building lines. These are just exercises. These are exercises that will help you solo. Because when you sit down and solo, it's like you have so many options. You want to be able to execute an eighth note or a triplet line in one octave or multiple octaves. So again, I really strongly recommend that you play this triplet line over the blues form just the way we're doing it. And let's go ahead and speed it up now, okay? Medium tempo, and then we'll play it with the track, okay? Here we go, guys. You pick the left hand you want. 1, 2, here we go. Triple, triple, to F, to C. Again. Now the F. And down. To C. Now to the G. And C. And G. Okay. And what I was just trying to do there in the left hand is to kind of show you, demonstrate to you what that scale would sound like depending on the left-hand pattern that you're playing. All right, great job. Let's go ahead and play it with the track. You're doing an awesome job. If you were able to play that, give yourself a pat on the back. That's a huge accomplishment. Here we go with the track. Triplets. This is going to be fast. So pause the video. If you can't play it at this speed, pause the video. But if you think you can, go ahead and play along with me. Here it is. 1, 2, here we go. Back to C, G, F, C, G. Okay, whew, that is moving, okay? This is one of the hardest note values that you're gonna learn in this beginner approach, okay? And honestly, if this is too hard for you, it's totally fine. You don't have to play triplets when you solo, okay? But as you grow at the piano, as you develop your technical facility, I would say it's very important to eventually be able to play triplets. Okay, that's the single octave approach, and just like we did with eighth notes, we're gonna do the multiple octave approach. Meaning, now instead of going one octave, this is an octave from C to C, we're gonna go C up to this C, which is 2 octaves, okay? 2 octaves, okay? And again, we're gonna use the same fingering you learned at the beginning of this lesson. Thumb on the C, and that gets you up to multiple octaves, okay? Let's go ahead and play it over the quarter note left hand, over the form, okay? We'll go slowly. Here it is, 3, 4, triple. Okay, and then now what we're gonna do is when we get here, we're gonna take it right down. You see that? We'll do it again, okay? Once more, we'll take it up. Triplet, 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 triplet. Now to the F. That comes down. And now we bring it up. And now we're on measure 4, which is a C. Now we're to the second segment, so we're on a 4 chord, 2 measures. 1, 2, 3, 4, and now again, 1, 2, 3, 4, and now back to the 1 chord for 2 measures. And now the 5 chord, the G chord. And now the F. and now the C, and now the G. Okay, that's over the full form. You can do the 8th note left hand, triple A, triple A, triple A, triple A, triple A. Okay, and basically go through the whole form with that rhythm. Okay, once you get that, let's go ahead and speed it up. We're going to go ahead and play it all the way through without slowing down, medium slow tempo, and then we'll do it with the track, okay? Guys, remember, you can pause this video. If you're struggling, pause it and practice it on your own. If you need to go back, rewatch some portions, but I'm going to move you along here because we want to try to speed it up, okay? Here it is, medium slow. Here it is. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Now triple, triple, triple. F, C, now to F, to stay on F, and down to C. Here's the third segment, up to G, F, and down to C. Great job. All right. And again, keep in mind you can do the 8th notes. Triple. All right. Very good job. What you want to do, and really the end goal of this lesson, and I think it's a pretty ambitious goal, is to be able to play with the track using triplets, and it goes pretty quickly because the track is like so triplets are going to be like okay, but if you can play it with the track, that really shows that you can execute a triplet line in your solo. Okay, so if you can't play it with this, don't worry one bit. I don't think you have to be able to play triplets at this speed, but this is a goal, and many of our pianists, we have a really diverse group of students watching these videos. We have some who have some playing experience and they can do this, and we have others who are brand new, and this is a lot of new information. Don't worry, just keep in mind that there's other students who might be watching who can pull this off, okay? Here we go, guys. Let's do it with the track. Triplets, multiple octaves. I'll play along with you. You'll hear the count off, and here we go. 2, 1, 2, here we go. I'm going to do 8th notes in the left hand. This is just another option for your left hand. A little more driving. All right, go ahead and stop there. I was adding a couple little notes there on the way down, doing this little harmony. I'm going to be showing you this in one of our future lessons, which is how to harmonize a melody. The last thing I want to tell you guys is when you're practicing these scales, right? Again, just like we did with the single octave, recall I said you can do the opposite where you start going down and then go up. You can do the same thing here. Start going down and then go up. So on the 1 chord is down, and then the 4 chord is up, okay? And you can practice either one, okay? In fact, if you really want to get good at this, I would practice both, okay? Guys, this concludes the Lesson 3 challenge. You have learned a ton in this lesson. In fact, let's go ahead and review all of the incredible things you learned. And keep in mind, this is a lesson where you're learning a particular scale, and we're learning exercises so that you can execute the scale when you're soloing. So we're actually going to start soloing next week. But in today's lesson, you guys learned the blues scale, we learned the fingering, We learned strategies for practicing it. We talked about playing in multiple octaves. We talked about the fingering. And then we talked about playing over the blues form and various ways to practice playing over the form using single octave eighth notes, multiple octave eighth notes, and then triplets, which are pretty hard to play. Guys, I've been teaching you a ton. I've been talking a ton. And so now it's your turn. You got one job, one request, one thing that I want you to do after you've practiced this, and that is to post a video in the Piano with Johnny Blues Challenge group at Facebook. Guys, if you want to learn the piano, you want to become the piano player you have always dreamed, you have to share your progress. And I'm going to share something about my story, which is I had a wonderful family of supportive musicians. My parents put me in piano lessons when I was 4 years old. My father was actually an attorney by day and a jazz bassist by night. And my fondest memories were going with my dad to his jazz gigs, and I would listen to him play professionally in these hotel lounges in Los Angeles. And I just fell in love with this music. And I had such a supportive community, and my parents, every time I would practice, they'd listen, and they'd be in the kitchen and they could hear me play, and I'd finish a song and I'd hear them clap for me, and they'd say, "Great job, Johnny, you sound great." And it was that motivation that carried me through the hard times. And I gotta tell you guys, learning the blues was so hard and so frustrating, and I wanted to quit at times. And I remember learning the blues shuffle, and I remember learning this scale, and I just thought, how do I put these pieces together? And at times it didn't make any sense, and I wanted to quit. And one of the biggest reasons I stuck with it was I had a community. And that community supported me, even though when I struggled and I couldn't play what I wanted to play. They said, "You're going to make it, you're going to do great." And that's what this community is for. All of these students are here to support, encourage, and help you along your musical journey. And guys, if you have questions or you're struggling with something, this is also a community where you can reach out to your fellow students participating in our challenge and say, "Guys, how would you approach this? How would you approach that? How would you practice this? How would you practice that?" So, one job, go post a video on our community page. You can use your smartphone. You don't need to do a high quality video with direct audio. Just set that smartphone up on a surface, point it at the keyboard. We don't have to see your face. Frankly, we don't have to even see your hands, although that would be nice if we could see your hands minimally, and hit the record button and post directly to the group. Congratulations on making it all the way through lesson 3 of the 14-day challenge. You are doing such a great job. And guys, in the next lesson, we're going to start to improvise. We're going to start to create some cool bluesy lines. Using the blues scale, which you learned today. So, awesome job, and I'll see you guys in the next lesson.